provide jobs for young people. But one thing we discovered, jobs were available, but the skills, the capabilities to pick up those roles were not there. So we innovated. So before we bring it to someone that is looking for a job, we must look at your capabilities. What can you do so that you don't go and disgrace Hamilton? Because now she trusted me to give me a vacant position. I must be able to be reliable to bring some to develop a career in finance. Let's say in finance. And the person is moving from one industry to another industry. Today you're in real estate. Tomorrow you're in banking and finance. The next day you are in insurance. The next day you are in IT. The next day you are where again, Nasser? So you move from one industry to another. And we're talking about why not stay in one industry and become a don there. And be moving from. That's why someone can move from Access Bank to Diamond Bank. From Diamond Bank to GT Bank. From GT Bank to Zenith. And when he's moving, he's not moving to the same position. No. He's moving to a bigger role. So there is strategy for growth. Sorry, we don't have all the time to be more detailed. Sorry, I'm just trying to, for the sake of time. Next slide, next slide, next slide. All right. Innovate and grow. So one of the things we do, why we should innovate, is so that we can grow. We can move from point A to point B. All right, next slide, next slide, next slide. All right. Strategic line of action. So what are the action line we can take? What are the action line? I call it the 3E model, especially for those that are looking to grow in their career. You want to get a job or you want to do something, all right? So the first one is employability, entrepreneurship, and employment. What do I do now? What do I do? I want to do something now. Please, let's leave this slide. Next slide. Let's leave this slide. This one will take our time. Sorry. Huh? Question and answer. Question and answer.
Are we clapping or we are? Please have your seat, sir. Innovate or? Innovate or? This one, sir, why did you flog me like this now? It's crazy out there. And funny enough, I was at Galaxy Backbone this morning, and they were talking about the new minister for in the tech world, because Bosun is coming with the Lagos guys who know their onions. And he said, if we are not innovative, we might not fit into the system. Yes, sir.
Please. This thing you just raised, was it last month when Bill Gates came to Nigeria? It was this same guy that hosted him. Yes. And we were in a WhatsApp group, started from venture capital at Maitamaya. So now look at the value of Flutterwave now. Kola Aina just created the enabling environment and pushing some funds. Right now, his share in that company is in billions of naira.
Hold on, add again. Out of, I think, 25% of fintech companies in Nigeria, Kola Aina has it.
Yes. And when you see Kola Aina, very simple guy. He even left his family business and started venture. And now if you go to that place, I will recommend that some of us, maybe we can take a tour. Let us go and see what young people are doing there. They are creating solutions. And when Kola Aina sees this solution, he deposits not in naira, dollars. He brings in his other foreign investors to put money.
And also, let me add this also that you don't forget that Paystack, Flutterwave guys have learned the same thing from him.
Yes.
And their work also now.
Yes.
Pumping money to every
Yes,
solution they see, whether it's 17-year-old, 15 years
I'm
old,
telling
they
you.
put money into it.
Then, if you're a tech person, please Google this man. What's his name? Indubisi Ekekwe from Abia State. Please, Techidia. If you have solution, Ekekwe is from Abia State, but he works. He comes from the US. But he's
By the message of
Ekekwe.
bringing him back in the
Ah,
program.
oh, really? Please, that day this place will not be. This place cannot accommodate him.
No, not here.
He has over 20 companies in Abuja that he has invested in, and I know those companies.
The
The-
one that introduced Igbo entrepreneurship in
Yes.
and they adopted it and they started.
He's very good. He's even starting. He's even starting a Pan African University in Abia State. Ekekwe, Ekekwe. Is it? Yes. Sorry, I didn't pronounce it well.
Branding.
Yes. Yeah.
I just brought that to say that what has happened here today, guys, is going to change our lives forever if we make the most of it. And if you will come again next time, I tell you there are opportunities here on TTT that, see, we can become an ecosystem from here that will change the narrative in Abuja and beyond. And so I will encourage us to keep coming. If you didn't get anything today, trust me, next time you're going to get something big. So we should keep coming. Can we put our hands together for ourselves? Oh, we did, right? We did, right? We did. We did. Because we will innovate and we will not die, right? All right, so we will take the questions. Nene will take all the papers from us so that we can save time. So if you wrote a question down, please just hand over the paper. She's right behind wearing the Wodi branded t-shirt. And then we will give a few minutes to one of our guests, Mr. Kamal, to just give us a word in a few minutes, a few seconds before. Please, while we are taking all the questions. So we need them in writing. So take a moment while Mr. Kamal is doing that. Yes.
Thank you very much, everyone. And good afternoon. My name is Sultan Kamal Abdulaziz. I work with the National Space Research and Development Agency. I also coordinate an NGO, Generation for Societal Change. What we do at Generation for Societal Change is rehabilitate the mindset of young Nigerians, just like every one of us here, basically on ethics and values. You know, our ethics and value system is deteriorating. And while everything that was said here was being said, I just kept on smiling because it means we are going a step in the right direction. And you could see how our ethics and values is actually very important that we instill and then try to multiply it in our system, because nothing actually works without all of these life patterns you have seen today, right? We have seen how ethics, the values, and then principle work hand in hand. That is to say that life itself is symbiotic in nature. You can't get what you don't give. Look at the nature of life. We can go water, right? And you could see that water is a circle from precipitation. It gets into the river, and then it gets heated up again, and then it forms cloud, and then precipitate again, right? That's a circle. You can see even the carbon cycle, right? Everything, even photosynthesis. You breathe out, then you take in. While you take in, something benefits, and then it just keeps on going around just to give life. That is to say, if you alter the principle of life, just like Mr. Victor has said, then a lot of things will be altered and we won't go forward. So more than anything, you could see that each and every one of the speakers here present actually mentioned something, right? Key ingredients to success. And you can't take it. Knowing yourself too comes first. So you have to be intentional about what you want to do, how you want to achieve it. And you can't actually be intentional enough without knowing who you are. I saw her and I liked that life exercise where she called for people to come forth and then mention who they are, right? Or say who you are. unfortunately stepped out on her own or his own and mentioned who he was, now in the terms, not by role, right? Then it goes on to she was all about. Each and every one of you would believe that when it comes to revelation, right, revealing who you are, you will want to network with her. You would want to connect to her to come and help other people also reveal their identity and who they are. And that's how opportunities come. You can't just not be intentional and think these opportunities would come and meet you. So first and foremost, you have to know yourself, right? When you know yourself, then you have to be intentional. When you're intentional, you make that decision, which each and every one of the speakers had earlier mentioned. What distinguishes you from every other person in this room, from every other person in the world, is the decision you make. And it's actually important that you know that in each and every one of us, disposited in each and every one of us, is an innate potential that is peculiar to just yourself. Every one of us have a piece of good news, right? You have something special and unique. It could be the way you pronounce words. It could be how you listen to people when they talk, right? That could be your strength. Some people just want to be listened to. Have you ever noticed that? Some people do not want your solutions. So you can just be that person who everybody comes and vent to. And just because you could keep that connection and listen, then thousands of other people would come your way. They would ask, do you know that listener? I want to go. And every time I spoke to him, I felt a certain level of comfort, right? So it's nothing extraordinary. It mustn't be extraordinary. Even the AI we spoke about today, someone actually invented it. It's just an idea that came from nowhere. And then it's working now. We have things that could work for us. It mustn't be peculiar to what everybody who is successful have done or had done, right? You can be the first person to do what your thing, and then every other person learns to. So, because I am not a speaker here, and I see Belle coming closer to me, this is where I'll drop my mic. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those impactful words, and we really appreciate it. I hope you don't have a problem us calling you Mr. Kamal and point final. We just drop it there short, so forgive me for not mentioning the full name. So we will take 2 males, 2 females. 2 males, 2 females of what you have learned. I heard, okay, so let's have the questions. So 2 males, 2 females, and you'll speak for 2 minutes on what you've learned. But before we get into that, my name is Wisdom Ugo. So quickly do this. I and my team earlier this year registered for an e-commerce company which basically deals on raw food products from the market. My question is, for an African setting, would it be wise to start up such, seeing that a typical African woman loves to go to a physical market? Why are you smiling, sir? So, a little from you and then a little from you.
What's the question again, please?
I and my team earlier this year registered for an e-commerce company which basically deals on raw food products from the market. My question is, for an African setting, will it be wise to start up such, seeing that a typical African woman loves to go to a physical market?
That is a costly assumption. Yeah, it's a costly assumption. And in business, you don't assume. I've been married for 5 years, and for 4 years plus, I've been the one going to market. My wife doesn't go to market. Yeah, so all the ladies in the market, they know me. So, God, how are you? You don't come? I say, yes, I don't come. So don't assume that most African women like going to market, all right? You have developed a solution. Please run with it, okay? I can even give you a marketing strategy, all right? You could decide to pick estates in Abuja. There are highbrow estates that you can deliver your product. There are bankers that don't go to market. They are very busy. You can supply to them. There are high net worth individuals that are very busy. All right. All you need to do is to have a marketing map. All right. A roadmap, a marketing roadmap. All right. highlighting your demography, your target market, and look for strategy to reach all of them. All right. Sometimes I can give an example. Now, when I was at the bank, they can give me, let's say, our excellency's number. Maybe it may be our PA that gave me the number. She will tell me, please don't tell madam I gave you the number. When I call madam and I'm speaking to her, I won't even mention the PA's name. She will wonder how I got the number. I'm going to cook up a very sweet story and tell her how I got the number. All right? So there are ways of getting customers. So please don't assume that business is not going to be successful. It can be successful.
I would leave the next question for you, sir. So let me hear from a doctor on this same question. E-commerce recommend.
Okay, so like he rightly said, that's not even true. I remember a couple of years ago, I stumbled on a platform called Kitchen Maids, and they basically shop for me. They do everything. As a matter of fact, they went the extra. They just don't shop, they also prep. So for instance, if I order ugu leaves, water leaves, they can chop it up. They will blend the melon. They can parboil the meat. And I remember there was a particular season where I was coaching back to back for like 3 months. I didn't step into the market. I just order. And once the things come, in minutes, I'm done cooking. So there is a great demand, I must say. And I've met a lot of women, like he rightly said, they're busy executives. I'm one of such. And if I must go to the market, I have a list. In 10 minutes, I'm out. I tell people who know me, no, I don't all just go to the market 3 hours. What are we doing? 15 minutes. And that's if there's a variety I feel I want to pick myself. But that's rare. And if I meet someone who will meet that need, I'm out. So there is a market for it.
Yeah.
Like he rightly said, do your visibility study. It's a solution. Carve out your demographic and solve that problem. Estates is a good one.
Yeah.
Where I live, there are people who we know that are within the community and they're cashing out, just serving us. And you just know, okay, crayfish, the bag has arrived. The yams I buy is from a lady who brings from Benway. She's within the estate and she just uses the estate platform. She doesn't even have an e-commerce website. So this is a brilliant solution. It's a great a problem you're trying to solve, and there is a target market. If you were doubting it, I'm one of your customers, and there are many women like me. So go right ahead and solve the problem.
Awesome. And okay.
You want to say something?
Okay. I actually wanted to. Okay, but you can do that brief because I wanted you to respond to the next question. So you can
I think my advice will be this. As a business consultant, this is my key advice. Starting a business has not ever been what I'm very excited about. I've been in the field enough to know that business will start, it will go down. So the issue is the sustainability that works with it. So this comes, look, you are in the business of ease and convenience. In the world of today, ease and convenience, you don't need to be an executive. Some will sit down, cross their leg and watch Z-Wall and be waiting for the thing to come. So it's not about being busy. It's in the world of being convenience. It sells. But my advice would be, it's not the starting. When it comes to business, honestly, you can start anything. But sustain, scale it, that's where we are talking business. Honestly. Otherwise, that's why people are borrowing money is losing. People are supporting families losing. People are getting what they call capital is losing. So my advice would be sit back. Because to be honest, that question showed you've not done your thorough homework about this business you're about to start. Sit back. Do a thorough homework on what it takes to start a convenience business. Then you know your target market. You know your process. You know the channel. You know the payment and the rest of them. And then from there you can move on. That would be my advice.
Okay, let's hear from Her Excellency. Oh, okay, Mr. Kamal.
Good afternoon once again. So my genuine advice would be that life is all about choices, right? Whatever business you're going into, there's actually someone who will want to patronize that business and someone who doesn't want to patronize that business. So you have to streamline your target audience. A lot of times, what you want to do before starting a business is having a goal in sight. One major goal would be how much money do you want to make? Because you're not going into business for just anything. So if, for instance, it's 2 million you want to make, you will probably divide it by the numbers of potential people you will be reaching out to make that million, right? So let's say roughly you have to get to 100 people to make ₦1,000,000. So 1 million divided by 100. When you can get that, how much time do you need to get that? So whenever it is at the end of the year when you're making your plus and minus, if you've been able to make these numbers, then it has illustrated that you've been successful. So what should go into your mind is not people who won't patronize you, but the people who will patronize you, right? Because that's all that you need in driving your business forward.
Let me just add, looking at the way things are right now, those that usually will want to go to the market, there are factors that you have to consider. What will it take you to go to the market? I think somebody talked about having the app of both. And so you discover that at times probably you want something that is 5,000 and you have to spend 2,000. So for such women, they rather prefer somebody who will just bring that 5,000 worth of alcohol, and then you don't bother going to the market. So it's really a good business. And I must say to the person that I've just asked that, also get into that same very business.
Okay, we are getting free consultancy on this platform today. These are things that you pay a lot of money to get somewhere else. So the question to you, sir, it says, how do you apply for a government job when you don't know anybody?
One of the major challenges of Nigeria is that thing we discussed earlier on, the breaking of principles and values. So it makes one of our weakness that has, I think, of all the percentage of analysis you make, one of the most dangerous thing is that over the years we kill meritocracy. Now, every environment that grows depends on meritocracy. Put the right people in the right place. But because we broke and tempered with all these principles, we no longer have a channel for meritocracy. So it's easy for you to start asking this question. In other climes, nobody does this kind of question. Because just basic, you're good, you're good. If I right from school, you are identified, empowered to grow with it. Basically, that's how it is. My advice is this. We are talking solution, if you notice. Our focus is bring value and solution. Anytime you start using the word, how do I get a government job? It's not solution you want to offer. Let's break it and be honest about it. It's not solution you want to offer. Because the rule is this. Anywhere there is value, people will come. That's the rule of life. Male or female, small or big. Immediately people identify value, another value will come to you. It's called money. They give it to you. It's called reward. Give it to you. Appointment. It comes with it. Immediately use the word, I want to get government job. To be honest with you, honestly, deep inside of yourself, what you have decided is that if I say, now I hear cake, they plenty. I for like enter that place. Make I cut my own share. To be honest with you, I have opportunity to deal with some people in government. If most of you know the true challenge in government, honestly, you won't take the job in government. You don't know the complication in that place. It looks nice when they are inside the car. Leave them.
Thank you so much. And in line with that, when you were talking about solution, I will never forget my first experience being with Her Excellency to interview applicants. And I don't know where it came from, if it was part of her, but then she will ask, have you worked somewhere? And the person said, I was laid off. And she said, where were you?
Good question.
And that thing has never left my head. And I had to talk about it last week on radio. And I didn't call your name, but I said my mother would always ask, why are you the one not getting the job? Why are you the one that was laid off? So I think if you come from the angle of value, to what you're saying, it's very easy for you to find where to fit in. And just had to add that. Next question. My question is about the background. If you have background distraction, how do you go about that? Okay. Background, I think it was from what you gave earlier. And then also the job website. That's you, sir. Job website. Yes. So
background. When you say background, if you notice one key thing all of us keep using, there are certain keywords if you pay attention. One of them was responsibility. See, anytime you get one of the first sign that someone has decided to fail, because most people think people fail by accident. Nobody fails by accident. Failing is a decision. So there are certain categories, there are certain, what do you call it, symbol and signs that shows you somebody has decided to fail. One of the first one is excuse. The second one is blame. Anytime you see someone use excuse or blame, the person has decided, committed to failing. That's the first rule you see. So anytime you hear word distraction from home, distraction from the government, distraction from the system, the person is looking for excuse to fail. And and there will always be distraction. And you know what makes the whole thing? One of the sign of weakness is this. And that's one of the signs that the devil uses the most. Is the sign that I don't want to fail alone, so I help you to fail. So anytime you want to fail, you're looking for someone to hold so that you can fail. So that if they start asking you questions, you don't want to be accountable. You say, "Now, God, he no help me." So you hear some people say, "My fathers didn't lay the foundation for me." So who are you as a human being? If God wanted to put all the faculty of success in one person, he wouldn't give you the brain and give her a brain and give her a brain. Oxygen, take your oxygen, take your oxygen, take my oxygen. Give me a heart, take your heart, because at every point in time, the key word is called responsibility and accountability. As long as you're discussing, that's why I always use one word for her now, say the queen of intentionality. Because at every time she's doing a thing, you will see there is a plan for that thing she's doing. Even if you think it's casual, young people come together, you think it's just come together. No. There is this thing that this is what I want to get out of it. So if you're intentional to succeed, you see the word excuse is not out of the question. You will never look for who to blame. I'll end by saying this.
Yes, sir.
Have you noticed that those who want to fail in marriage will always give you statistics of marriage failing?
All right. Okay, so just in addition to what he said,
Yes, sir.
there's no excuse in life. Right now, I work with over 5 organizations in Africa with my NGO. But if I tell you where I'm coming from, you will not believe. I used to hawk fish, fresh fish, all right, in Port Harcourt. My father was a fisherman. I'm telling you. So there is no excuse. Sometimes you come back from primary school, you have not even dropped your bag, you are carrying fish on your head to go and sell. And the next day you need to go back to school. All right? There was no mentor, nobody. You are just all by yourself. All right, so there is no excuse whatsoever. People have gone through worse situations and they turn out right. It takes determination. And I told myself, the things I've gone through, my son will never go through them. So that is my determination. All right, so sometimes I look at where I'm coming from, and I look at where I am today, and I look at where I'm going to. When I was in university, my mom would give me 10,000 naira, and that is all the money she has given you for the whole semester. You just have to survive on campus. All right, that was when I started selling books to meet up with the gaps because there was no money. So if you're looking for excuse, you will never grow. All it takes is that determination, that intentionality. Heaven will always make space for a man that is willing to grow.
That's right. Yes, sir. And okay, I wanted you to respond to a particular question.
Okay.
So I'm saving your energy for that. So can we have the website? Yes.
All right, so there are quite a number of them, and I wanted to write them down.
Okay,
but
so
he's saying that there will be a WhatsApp group where I can dump all of those
Awesome.
information.
Awesome.
There are hundreds
I think we
of
should
them.
clap as a yes. Can we clap as a yes?
Uh-huh.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you know something? When you were talking, I remember, I don't know any of you have watched The Apprentice, executively produced by Donald Trump. That was years before he became the America's president. And on one of the business tasks, it's a business reality TV show, and on one of the tasks, one of the groups that won, but they had a fight in that group. So the group leader came and Donald Trump was asking him what happened, and he was giving excuses, and Donald Trump fired him. And I never forgot that. For years, I've kept it in my head. He says, I hate excuses. And I have been with Her Excellency for almost 3 years. See, Thou shalt not is our King James version. Yeah, thou shalt not bring excuses. Thou shalt not. Her Excellency will tell you
Where